How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
As a general philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV here in the studios in Southern California. I am Preston Johnson, your host, hanging out with Qwan Young, co-hosting. He's producing from the other side. How was your Thursday? How are you doing? Hanging in there?
I am.
There's a pause. Look, he binge watched Squid Game.
Yes.
In yesterday. Period.
2 days.
Not
Day
even.
and a half. Yeah.
So then maybe that was the hesitation.
Yeah.
A little slow. Still thinking it through. I love the
little,
premise of that show. I thought it was really good.
I like
for what it's worth.
It's fueling my need for spooky season, which is upon us.
It's true. It is almost October, which reminds me, Tom Davis gets the W late, I guess, barrage of runs in that Atlanta game to get it over the 8. He moves up from first to first. The lead now over a unit, but Patrick has locked in a running back prop. I believe it was the James Robinson over 22.5 receiving yards tonight's NFL game, which you can also put up a graphic for that. Updated lines on the Jags and Bengals. 7.5, 46 basically across the board. We also have a college football game that people can fire. So Patrick will have basically 2 shots, the one that's pending plus another to catch Tom. Tom DM'd me, but Tom, I ignored you because if you want to talk strategy, we'll just do it on the phone. Do it during the show. But he's wondering what to do. Theoretically, you could just sit out, hope Patrick goes 2-0, which on average is about a 25% chance, right? Now, someone else could also fire a longer shot, first touchdown prop, something like that to take a shot to win. They'll be foregoing their chance to do some weekend football for the October leaderboard, but regardless, there's at least $500 in the pool going to Tom, Patrick, or whoever it is that ends up on top. So we'll be talking a lot about that, taking your calls, 661-515-BETS. No jinx. Phone lines worked well yesterday. We should be good. The attack on the industry, which was a real thing, seems to be leveling out. So that being said, we talked yesterday or the day before. Someone called in and mentioned, hey, Miami, why is this so low against Virginia? Look, I was like, hey, you got to stay away until you find out about Derek King. I don't think he's playing because this went from 6-4 now today. I'm not sure if they've made an official announcement or not. He's hurt. The left guard's also out, I believe, for Miami. Forget his name. But, not surprised to see this come back down. That's why I just was like, you can't bet this game until you find out who's under center. So that's where we're sitting, about -4 or 4.5 with a total of 62 in that game. And then the NFL one we just talked about. So we can just go straight to the calls. We don't have Pikachu on for his tail end segment. I told you yesterday he was on a scooter. He fell. He split his chin, fractured his jaw. They had to wire it shut. And he's like, oh, it'll still be funny. I'll just talk with the jaw wired shut and do my segment. I was like, okay, maybe he's right. Yesterday he's like, all right, no shot. Can't do it. So he's out. He gave it 0 try, but I think he was pretty beat up. So I wasn't going to force him, obviously. It's all just for fun here. So all is well. Soon. We will talk more NFL at the end after we take your calls, though, because Qwan said he was looking at the card early this week. I finally updated after my trip in Vegas my NFL numbers yesterday, and I think there were 4 bets I thought were worthwhile making. One is a teaser. If you can get the advantage teaser, it's in that range. We've talked about some of those all week. And there we are. There you have it. So that'll be the show today. We can start with the calls. Qwan, whoever's up first, let's throw them on the line.
We got Jamie in Atlanta.
Jamie, what's up? Who won in that KT matchup? You were telling me against Lotte, I think.
Oh, they got smoked, man. KT got smoked.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Wasn't good for me. I don't know what happened there, but they lost by more than one. So the game's
the run line approach was right.
One held up.
Sure enough,
the wrong side.
Well, actually, let me tell you a funny, quick story before you give us another play for today. I had a friend of mine. He's like, I'm tilted. I'm chasing. I'm betting the Dodgers. Max Scherzer, likely Cy Young at home, laying like -300 against the Padres. In the middle of the first inning, it's 4-0. Dodgers are up. You have the Cy Young on the mound. It's like, oh, nice work, man. You got your Chase tilt bet back. And the next thing I know, I look, and it's like 6-5 Padres. Then it's 9-5 Padres. He's even more pissed now. He's like, how in the world do you have a 4-0 lead with Max Scherzer and the Dodgers, and you can't even win that game? It's 9-5. I tell him, he says, like, all right, I guess I got to look at the Korean baseball board. I tell him, hey, I heard that KT might be a sharp play tonight because you had DM'd me and said, hey, they're in a good spot. I said, bet money line, but also do run line because they're not adjusting correctly. And he fired that. Within 15 minutes, the Dodgers are up 11-9. They just hit 5 homers, and they actually won anyway. And then he lost more back on the KT play, which I had forgot to look this morning to see who won. So that's why he was yelling at me earlier on.
Well, I still think it was a good. I think it was a good look. I think the line even moved in my favor. It just didn't come through. So
it happens.
You know, I'll try to give him another winner. I'll give you one to give him back. I got a KBO pick today. So
all right, let's go with it.
Yeah. So I like the Kia F5 under. Same principle as before. Tried to take the F5 unders to avoid the bullpens.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like the Pirates yesterday, Kia's got a new foreign guy in. Each team gets 2 foreign pitchers. And he's only pitched once. He looked good. He was with the Reds in AAA before. Like Bo Takahashi, I think is how you say his name.
Okay.
But I liked him. He pitched well the first game. The 2 offenses are both pretty bad, kind of bottom half of the league. And then the starter for Kiwoom, I'd say, is above average from KBO standards. He could still blow up. That's KBO pitching for you. But I think F5, under 5 even is about what I was seeing. I don't know if you have something better. But, yeah, I don't think they're really adjusted for this AAA arm coming over in a good spot tonight.
I think you're better off, my guess, without knowing Korean very well. Korean baseball, I should say. I think first 5 under 5.5 minus 120. I think the half run on a 5 and a 5.5 is probably worth 20 cents. I see that at a few spots. My guess is that that's slightly better than 5 even money.
Yeah, I'll take it. A lot of times I'll take it here because I think there could be some variance. But a lot of times KBO games, they're pretty high variance. So they'll go one way or the other. So a lot of times I'll try to avoid the juice, like if I'm just playing it myself, just because it'll land 2 or 3 or it'll land 8. Like it's probably not going to come
still
in right
middle
at
ground.
5.
Okay, fair enough.
There really isn't. That was the game this morning. So I think they lost like 8-0. So, or something like that. So
it was 8-0, but then they scored 4.
Yeah, on the bullpen, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So my starting pitching handicapping, I guess, was a bit off there. But Lotte's bullpen is awful. If you are ever looking for a live bet, Lotte's ever up.
A live chase.
At night.
There it is. Cool, man.
There
We'll lock you in under 5.5 minus 120. First 5.
Cool.
Good luck. We'll talk to you later on.
Sounds good. Yep.
Yep. What?
I found Korean baseball last night when I was looking for a play. So
did you look at it or you just found it?
I glanced.
Just a glance.
Me and Jamie were in the Discord. I'm about to see if I can make some.
That's true. There is a Discord now. Have we tweeted that out or anything?
I tweeted it out once. I'll start plugging.
I should probably tweet it out.
That's probably.
I have a couple followers. Yeah. We do have a Discord. We kind of set it up. I think we should just set one up anyway. People can take jabs at each other and just whatever. I mean, people can track their bets, whatever you want to do. Main thing was that if we needed a backup plan for the phone lines because Putin's minions were attacking the industry, we had something set up to use a link, send it to your guys' Discords. Anyways, luckily we haven't had to use it.
YouTube chat and under this on Twitter.
There you go. And I'll tweet it out later as well. But it's just like Last Word Cheetah Discord. You could probably search for it as well. You could put it in the Last Word Cheetah Twitter bio, little Discord link there. People can just click it.
We got Andrew in Chicago.
Cool. Andrew, how's it going, man? Welcome back to the show.
Doing well. How are you guys?
We are as well. What do you got for us?
All right, I'm going to college football. I'm looking at Kent State Bowling Green. Bowling Green fresh off the win against Minnesota. Their offense has been pretty terrible, Minnesota that is, ever since their star running back went down. The Matt McDonald experiment got the weirdest throwing motion in the world, but it's been pretty competent. Kent State in MAC play, one of the most explosive offenses. They're always trying to hang 50. I believe the number's at 17. I think this is a letdown spot for Bowling Green, and feel very comfortable with that 17 points.
So it's 16.5 now. I noticed earlier today someone played back, and I liked the 16.5 earlier in the week. So differentiating opinions, my number's higher. Not only I think is it a good spot to just fade a Bowling Green team that still stinks, but Kent State, that score against Maryland should have been a lot closer than the actual final. I believe they kicked 3 or 4 field goals in the red zone. They also had another 1 or 2 fourth down attempts they failed. And I was following it because that over on that game that we liked early in the week moved 5 points our way up to 72.5. Anyways, I don't think I'm really downgrading Kent State a lot because of that result. In theory, they probably should have had 24-28 themselves in that game. So, anyways, I'm with you. I am surprised a little bit that it moved back off the 17. So you can get 16.5 now.
For sure. I mean, Crum's been underachieving, but they're bound to put up 45 points in this game. And Bowling Green's max offensive performance is 14, 17-ish. So they can get to that 45 number, then I feel like it'll be an easy win.
I am confident. If they get to 45, we absolutely should be in business. So I like it, man. We'll lock you in. Good luck this week.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Who we got up next, Qwan? Cool. Joey, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. What's going on?
Nothing. We're just ready for some football. We got college and NFL tonight.
Yeah.
Everything else this weekend. What are you looking at?
Well, I'm up 3 units. I just confirmed that with Qwan this month.
Nice.
On the leaderboard. So, I want to make a little last final play. I'm going to go tonight's game. Joe Mixon, first touchdown scorer at plus 550.
All right, hold on 1 second. Plus 550, Joe Mixon, first TD.
Yeah, it's on Barstool Sportsbook. I could send you the screenshot right now.
I mean, I trust you. That seems about right. I'm going to just check 2 sites real quick on my app and see if I can give you a better price. No, 5-1 is not better. And plus 450 is not better. I'll give you the plus 5.5 to 1. It's probably not going to matter. If you hit this, my guess is that you're going to win. So everyone's fading Joe Mixon. We'll lock you in, man. Plus 550. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Who are you talking to, Qwan? Do we? Got it. So, Nick, you're up first. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Preston. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. What are you looking at for today?
Well, right before this show started, BetMGM, I think, screwed up, and they put up a line of Army first half minus 3.5 when the entire market was 5.5 or 6. I bet it, and then surely enough, right as I call in, they pulled it and changed it to 5.5. So can't use that one, unfortunately, anymore.
I'll tell you this: it was better to just bet it yourself than to wait for the phone call. That doesn't actually give you much expected value. So, yeah, it was good that you bet it. It white flagged it for them or whatever, red flag, whatever, whichever color it is. Now they switched it, but it's good that you got something down because that was a nice bet.
Yeah, but anyways, for this we will because I see it went down to minus 14 for Ohio State. This is just too low. I have to bet it at this point. I said bookmaker, it's minus 14 with juice minus 114.
Okay, that is, I think, the only 14 too. So it's not quite a 14 everywhere. Minus 114. That's probably like a 14.25 more or less. But I don't hate it, and I liked Rutgers last week, and it worked out against Michigan. But I still also am just concerned that Stroud, just similar to Clemson with DJ, they just don't have a quarterback that's as good as they've had. And if Stroud isn't it, they're going to struggle to score points like they have in the past. So that's my one worry. I would lean your direction, but I'm not too far off market. I think I was closer to 16. So Nothing for me, but I'll give you the 14 minus 114. We can get you locked in for Saturday.
All right. Appreciate it, Preston. Have a good one, guys.
You too. Take care. All right. Do we have the new caller up next? Not quite. All right. Who's up? Brian, welcome to the show, man. You're on. How are you doing?
Hey, Preston. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. What do you got for us for tonight? You going football, baseball, weekend?
I think I'm already out of the September running, so I'm going to take a game on Sunday. And I usually do this on Fridays, but I'm going to go with the Patriots.
How did that work last week?
I want to update him before he's at 4 units.
Wait, he's up 4?
Yeah, plus 4 units. So he's
Nick, not Nick, but
Brian.
Brian, okay. So, Brian, I guess you're only like 2.75 out of first if you want to take a shot. Qwan wanted to let you know.
I'm down to 2.75.
Yeah, you're at plus 4 exactly. Tom at the top is plus 6.75. Patrick's plus 5.44, but he has 2 picks that he'll be having pending tonight. Regardless, if you wanted to take a shot on like a first TD on Mixon or Chase or Boyd, Robinson, anyone really, you would win.
Do you have a price on Chase first touchdown?
Yeah, 7-1.
I'll take that.
All right. We like your other play because it's the Pets, but you can lock that in tomorrow. You're going to bet it anyway, as we all know.
Friday tradition.
Take a shot on Chase. If he's first TD, you're probably going to win this thing, so you might as well. I think it's worthwhile.
I like it. Let's go tomorrow.
Cool. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Thank you.
We got Tone up.
Hey, Tone. What's up, man? Long time. How are you doing?
What's good, Preston?
Nothing. Just hanging, getting ready for football.
Yeah, you're done with the cum guzzling challenges and all.
For now. I might bring one back one day, but yeah.
Like that end, started pouring the milk. That was quite the little clip.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We had some fun with it. It was Monday.
All right, my pick. I'm gonna need Western
100
Kentucky
units?
money line. Western Kentucky money line. No, we're on the next month.
Got it.
Congratulations to the soldiers.
Wait, why Western Kentucky? Break it down.
It's more just like fading the terrible team that Michigan State is.
I mean, we tried that last week. Remember Nebraska? They had the game won, and they punted it away with 3 minutes left and gave up a punt return.
Red one. Yeah, how did every single person on the team not realize there was another guy over there and not look at the flight of the ball?
I've always wondered, that trick play, I always wonder how it ever works when it does, because it seems so obvious.
It literally makes no logical sense. I mean, one, punt coverage is just a bunch of idiots running after nothing. They never look up. So there's just a bunch of morons chasing a guy that could have the ball or not.
Yep.
But secondly, it's like at one point, do you just look up?
Just like, all right, let's find the ball.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, wait, that guy's running the other way with the ball. Like, oh, shit. That game was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Nebraska, they have no business winning any games, but they should have won that game.
It is true. I will give you plus 340 on Western Kentucky against Sparty.
Lock it in.
All right. Free W. Hey, enjoy your day. We'll talk to you later on, Tone.
Peace.
Who's up next? All right. Jim from Philly, I believe, was the lone winner yesterday, right, for Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire. You got the Cubs, so you'll be the lone caller for day 2 today. I won't tell you what the question is yet, but welcome back. Let us know what you like for either today or the weekend, and then we'll hear from you again here in about 45 minutes.
All right, cool. I got an NFL pick. I think this is like the biggest mistake on the board Sunday. Dolphins minus 1.5. So this team's actually better with Jacoby Brissett, and I don't think they're getting the love for that. And I mean, I know Carson Wentz very well, and this is an awful matchup for him because of Miami's pass defense. blitz pickup and turning the ball over are things he does very not well. I think this should be past 3. If I get tricked here, I'm going to get tricked, but I think this, the Titans are -5.5 at home versus the Colts. I don't see them much better than the Dolphins, so I don't really understand this one.
Yeah, so let's start with the Brissett point. Okay, look, Fitzpatrick was better than Tua last year for sure. Miami was just better when he was under center, so you could be right. I also thought it was interesting, though, that at one point in that Raiders game, and I was there with a friend because I was in Vegas over the weekend, Brissett had 29 attempts, 21 completions, and 99 yards total. Like, this guy's at 3 yards per attempt. Like, it was just a check down every single time. And they scored on an 82-yard interception return, and the Raiders went for it on 4th and 1 from their own 30. That was the only other touchdowns until the Raiders did the whole Qwan's favorite prevent thing at the end of the game, and Miami went and tied the game up. But I wasn't necessarily impressed with Brissett, but you could be right. The one other thing I will say, though, outside of Wentz just not being 100% with these ankle injuries and whatever else, Circa was bet yesterday from -1.5 to -2.5. And no one's taken the 2.5. Like, it's the only 2.5 out there. Circa has the biggest limits in the world, or at least in Vegas. Sorry, I might have gone a little crazy there. The biggest limits in Vegas, and no one's taken the 2.5 with Indianapolis. So you can still get 1.5 on Miami. I don't hate it, but I'm not certainly bullish the Dolphins or anything or Brissett. So I'm waiting and seeing. But we can lock you in. I hope you're right. I hope it's a mistake. You could be. Do you hate Carson Wentz as a Philly fan then, just in general?
Oh, my God, he's awful. I mean, he's
okay.
He was waiting. He's like, people have no idea how bad he is. He can't read he freaks out in the pocket. He can't read a coverage. All he does is throw screens and checkdowns. So yeah, I mean, the Colts defense is bad. So I'm not saying Jacoby Brissett's going to light it up, but Brian Flores is a really good defensive coach. Carson is going to be horrible in this game. I can't wait.
All right. We locked it in, Jim. We'll give you the -1.5. Good luck, and we will talk to you in a little while later today.
All right, guys. Thanks.
See ya.
He was waiting for that.
Tell us how you really feel, Jim.
Oh,
Carson Wentz. Yeah. Now I'm maybe it's a little biased play against Carson Wentz, but this total has been dropping a ton. So that might actually have been the best play in this bet was under 45. Now it's 42.5. Who we got?
We got a new caller, Hunter from Houston.
All right, Hunter, welcome to Last Word Cheetah, man. Thanks for calling. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Nothing. Just getting ready for some football. Qwan said he explained, at least to a little extent, how this works. The month of September is almost over. So if you want to take a shot for the October leaderboard, pick a game that you like most this weekend, and then we're good to go, through October.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So I'm going to pick the Bucks -7.
Okay, just the bounce back Brady revenge game in New England. What's your theory there?
Yeah, man, I just don't think Mac Jones is going to be able to. Buccaneers defense hasn't played good. I think they're the worst against the pass, but I just think they're going to be good enough to stop the rookie Mac Jones. I think Tom Brady's going to go for 4 touchdowns, and yeah, I think it's going to beat them maybe by 3 possessions.
Okay, so
Tom usually takes stuff like this personal. We saw with the deflate gate, Roger. He usually takes certain stuff personal, so I just don't see him taking it lightly on Bill.
Okay, fair enough. You said that you think Tampa Bay has the worst defense against the pass so far this year. Is that what you mentioned?
It's got to be up there. I think I saw something where at least with fantasy quarterbacks, or maybe it was yards or something.
They were 30 last week.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it might not be dead last, but it was very close.
They're 24th in success rate against the pass. They're 5th against the run. So you're right. They haven't been very good. From a fantasy perspective, you could be right. Maybe they're dead last there, but they still are bottom third of the league, almost bottom 25%. I'll say this, by the way, the market, there's a lot of 6.5s. So for this sake, I always give you the best price I see on the screen. You get -6.5,
okay,
-110 on the Bucks. We'll lock you in. And, feel free to call back tomorrow. You can start getting another bet in for the October run.
Cool, man. I appreciate you.
Yep. Take it easy. Good luck.
Got another new caller.
Nice.
Ryan from Dallas.
Ryan from Dallas. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. What do you got for us this weekend, or are you looking at something tonight?
No, I was looking at NFL this weekend. Can you do teasers here?
Yes, let's do a teaser.
Awesome. So I think the first one I want is the Chiefs.
Okay, we can bring the Chiefs down to -1.
Okay, and then I guess I was debating the other one between the Seahawks and the Saints. I guess, do you have any opinions there?
Yes, you don't want to necessarily tease Seattle. I actually had someone else ask this question yesterday, I believe. So if you're trying to do like profitable teaser strategy, and you can get Seattle +3 just straight, you're actually better off just betting +3 rather than going to +9 in a teaser leg. +9's nice. You still get off of the 3 and through the key number of 7, but you'd be better off just taking +3. Now the Saints on their side, they're -7.5, getting that through the 7 down to 1.5. That's theoretically, historically better teaser strategy. So I would recommend the Saints. But I don't actually have a preference as far as like who I think's going to win. Outside of the fact I think the Giants should probably be a lower number. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like 7 or 6.5 by Sunday. That's my read on there. So I gave you kind of conflicting answers, but ultimately you can roll with whatever you think wins.
That's fine. I think I'm gonna take the Seahawks. I think George Kittle, he hasn't practiced at all this week, so I think there's a chance he's very limited or doesn't play. So I think that ends up closing at 2.5 in that case.
Right on. Cool. We can give you 9, and then you got I already forgot. Qwan, what was your first leg, Ryan?
The Chiefs.
Chiefs. We'll give you -1 on the Chiefs, +9 on Seattle, and we know Russell Wilson just always plays one-score games either way, so it seems to work out. Just tease Seattle games and you're good.
Yeah, all right. Sounds good.
All right, man. Take it easy. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
We got a trifecta of new callers.
Really? All it took was one. Now everyone's like, oh, they don't schedule these callers in advance? Yeah, every day. All right. Who is it?
This is Paul from Tuscaloosa.
Nice. Welcome, Paul. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
We're doing great. What are you looking at for the weekend?
So I think I'm going to take Michigan State -10 or 10.5, whatever the best number is, versus Western Kentucky. I heard your buddy Rufus on a podcast make that pick, so I think I'll ride with that one.
I actually just did a podcast last night that went up this morning with Rufus and Jeff, and he mentioned that one again. You can get 10.5 still. It's mostly 11, but I think he also gave it out. Was he on Jason McIntyre's podcast? And I believe he said that Sparty at -10.5 he had as about a 54.8% winner, which at -110 is going to be profitable long term. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And just want to say I recently came across the show, and I really enjoyed the content. And I have one quick question, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
In your opinion, how playable is Ole Miss plus 14.5 this weekend?
There's a lot of nuance to this question. Is it playable because we're all holding Matt Corral Heisman tickets? Hell yeah, we want Ole Miss to cover this game, maybe even win outright. Is it playable because it's a huge game, there's going to be a lot of points, you want to have action on it because you're watching it with family or friends? Hell yes, bet Ole Miss plus 14.5. Is it playable because there's an edge there and Ole Miss should only be like plus 12? No, I think it's lined pretty fairly. In fact, I was hoping for like 17 and was surprised it never really was there. And I think it's pretty spot on. So Ole Miss is like, top 10 in the country now. We already were pretty bullish on them over the summer. We talked about them plenty, but I think the line's fair. But if you want to bet Ole Miss for other reasons, by all means, I'm rooting for you. I'm going to be rooting for them. and just have a little action on a big game that we expect to see 80 points. You might as well.
Sure. I'm a Bama fan, so hopefully they cover, but we'll see, I guess.
Well, there's another reason you can hedge your happiness. Bet Ole Miss, root for Bama. It said Tuscaloosa, so I was going to ask. I forgot to at the beginning. But nice, man. Appreciate the call, and we'll talk to you next time.
Appreciate the information. Yep.
Sure.
Have a good day.
Every time we get someone from the South, I just expect them to sound like Tom Davis, but they don't. Tom just has the thickest Southern accent, so much so that people thought it was fake, including Qwan.
For weeks upon
like 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. We got Christian from Oregon's calling back in.
Nice. What's up, Christian? How are you doing?
Good. How's things going here?
We're doing well. You're still in third despite maybe one play in the last 10 days or something like that. But you're in the mix. You're only down 1.9 units.
Geez, okay. Yeah, I haven't been following. I just started an internship, so I'm really, really busy lately.
Can you say what you're doing?
That's why I have. Yeah, I'm actually I'm interning for this startup company called Groom Buggy. It's kind of based out of San Mateo, California. It's just like a mobile pet grooming business. But yeah, I'm kind of interning for them for probably until around Christmas time. But it's good. We'll see. I've always wanted to kind of get involved in a startup, so we'll see how it goes.
You definitely should take risks, startups, whatever it may be. I condone it 100%. Good luck, man. We're glad that you're doing something. Don't feel pressure about obviously calling in here, but you do have a play, and today's the last day of the month. So if you want to take a shot to win, the September pool is $500 right now. You could pick first touchdown in the NFL game tonight if you have a preference there. You could do an alternate line of some sort in the college game if you have something.
Well, I didn't know I was in third. I was going to call about the Panthers, but maybe I'll just hang on to that until tomorrow. But
yes,
if I'm only in third place, I might as well shoot for the moon here. Let's see.
I can look up lines for you if you're looking.
Yeah, do you mind? I'd probably take a first player to score as TD.
Sure. So Joe Mixon, which someone else also picked, plus 550, but you're ahead of them. So if you went with it, you would prices right them. Jamar Chase, plus 700. Tyler Boyd, plus 850. James Robinson, the favorite for the Jags players, 9-1. And then there's some more too, but.
And who's in who's ever in first place? How many units is he ahead?
1.9, and he hasn't called in yet today.
Okay. You know what? I'm feeling a little bullish. I really, really like Tyler Boyd. Let's go with him.
Okay. Right on. So plus 850 Tyler Boyd. That means we have 3 different colors with 3 different first TDs. But we might have a shot. Tom's sweating it now because theoretically he could fade one of them. But now him fading 3 players, the 3 favorites, this is getting dicey for Tom. He's going to have to call in. All right, Christian, appreciate the call, man. Good luck. Good work at the internship. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, take care.
See ya. Groom Buggy. I looked it up. They're not really on the internet yet. I tried to see if I could find anything on them. Maybe I heard it wrong. He said Groom Buggy.
I think he said Groom Buggy.
Yeah, I tried to look, but it was just pictures of horse. In Cinderella, what's that called? The
carriage.
Carriage. Thank you. There was a bunch of horse carriages that were decorated when I looked up Groom Buggy. I don't think that's what he's doing.
No.
It was a pet grooming service, mobile.
Pet groom.
Yeah, couldn't find it. But keep up the good work. Who's up next? Do we have someone on the line or no?
Last caller for right now. We got Christian from Tennessee.
Another Christian. Welcome back, Christian from Tennessee. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
What up? Pretty good. How about you?
I'm great. Ready for football this weekend, tonight as well. What are you looking at yourself?
Yeah, so we got another Bama fan here. I'm in the student section this weekend for the Ole Miss game, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the 14 and a half.
With the dog, or you want to lay the points?
I'm a Bama fan. So yeah.
You never know.
Students, I gotta root for my team. I can't see other students cheering for Ole Miss. So.
That's what I was saying. It could be a hedge. Bama, you can root for Bama to win by 1-14 or something like that. There's a 14 in the market.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna come. Is there a 14?
Yeah, there's 114, but it's minus 115. But I mean, there is a 14 too, so you could bet that if you like Bama. I was just relaying.
Yeah, I'll take the 14.
I have a question. Look, you're going to be in the student section. You're a fan. Put that aside because you're supposed to be doing that as a bettor regardless. Do you think this Ole Miss stuff is kind of fluky so far? They haven't played anyone good yet. Because last year, you had a way better Alabama team, in my opinion. And Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin year one with Corral, had no prep time really with the COVID offseason. Like, they're better this year. Just fact. Why is it that last year, outside of home and away, like, what's the difference? Why do you think Alabama can cover 14 and a half?
So it's really hard. Just whenever you hear Kiffin, he's got so much respect for Saban, and it's like, I really wish he wasn't just like bowing down to our coach like this. I wish he was just an asshole and thought he was going to beat us, but he just totally understands. So that's the part where like he understands what he has to do. But Saban, I don't know. I think our defense is going to make enough plays. I feel like we'll get a pick six at some point. Corral I feel like he hasn't faced enough yet. But I also like the under. I'm probably going to come back on Ole Miss if I can get connection during the game. Because I think
Alabama generally scores first no matter who they play. So, yeah, you could absolutely get 17 and a half after Bama opens with a TD or something and under 82 or something.
I'm definitely going to look for that. If I can get connection, I have no idea if I'm making connection. But do you think the under is like going to be correlated to us covering? Like if we cover, the game's also going to go under?
I think it is, and it normally isn't as often. But in this case, if it goes over, it's because Ole Miss does what they did last year and they score 40 as well. And if they're scoring 40, they're probably covering 2 TDs, right?
Yeah.
So I think so. I think you're right. If this goes under, it's probably because of the Bama defense, which I actually do think grades out better than last year's Bama defense, just the defensive side. It's ugly, man, but I think under's the only look as far as this game goes. That's the closest to a bet for me. I think the side's pretty fair, but under's close, and I think you're right. Yeah, if it goes under, then more often it's because Bama holds Ole Miss to 24, and you're probably covering the 14 too.
Yeah, so I was initially going to call in and take the under, but I'm just going to double down my rooting interest and just go with the Bama 14.
Cool. Fair enough, man. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you next time. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.
We have one more caller in the meantime.
Got two more. Tom
Two more?
Davis said they shooting a bazooka at him.
They are. Is he up next?
Yep.
Cool. What's up, Tom? How are you doing?
All right. So, buddy.
All right, let's talk strategy. I know you DM'd me. I was getting ready before the show. Couldn't really respond. Plus, we needed to have this convo live. You're ahead. You were smart. You waited to see what the majority of people have done, although I don't think Patrick has called in yet. So he's been waiting. He was a little bit smarter than you and has waited a little longer. So who am I speaking with? It's probably Patrick now that he sees Tom's on the line. That's as obvious as it could be. So, Tom, you're up a little over 1 unit on Patrick, 2 pending, but you also have 3 first-time scorers that could get you. So you have to pick something tonight, I think.
Man, the hackers is after me. Let Patrick go. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Everybody's playing that touchdown stuff. I reckon give me the favorite.
I was thinking about that, too, because worst case, you lose 1 unit and all the other touchdown guys lose anyway, too. The problem is that if Patrick goes 2-0, then you lose if your touchdown loses. And your touchdown's going to probably lose. I'm sitting here trying to think about what I would do if I were you. I'm not sure I know. I think you're still ahead not making a bet. That's probably right. The chances of those 3 guys being the first TD scorer plus Patrick going 2-0 got to be under 50% still.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I would end up going with, is not betting anything and praying if you're into that.
Yeah. I was praying to get home in this car. I had to get jumped off today to make it back home. So, yeah, that worked.
What you could do, though, is give out a play for the weekend and lock it in for October.
All right, let me stand pat and think about it for a minute.
All right, you got
if
time.
I don't call
man.
you back, just stand pat.
All right, no problem. Good luck. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks. Peace.
Hopefully I didn't confuse him. I'll probably talk to Patrick about it. Is it Patrick next? After the...
Sorry.
That's it?
Yeah.
You said there were 2 callers, and then someone else called.
Tom and Sarah.
Oh, I thought there was a third one that called live. Never mind. All right, Sarah, what's up, man? You're on the show. What are you going to go with?
What's going on, Preston? I want to go with the Broncos this weekend.
Oh, no. I'm actually opposite you on this one. Break it down.
Ravens? Oh. I like the Broncos defense better than the Ravens defense. The Ravens on the road have kind of looked shady. And so I'm just going with the home team. I know the Broncos haven't played anybody, but they've kind of handled their business, so I'm liking the Broncos. But if I'm opposite you, I'm not really feeling too good about it.
That was one of like 3 games that I liked. Plus, there's a teaser I thought was worthwhile. So I think it's kind of an overreaction to Baltimore's play so far to some extent. Now, maybe it's Lamar actually is hurt, but when you have that performance against the Lions, like obviously everyone's going to be like, maybe Baltimore's not very good. I'm just not sure how much stock to put into Denver, and I feel bad even saying it because my friend Spreadopedia, we've had him here before, he actually found a 500 to 1 on Teddy Bridgewater to win the MVP like after week 2. It probably was supposed to be 50 to 1. Anyway, so now he's a huge Broncos Bridgewater fan. I think he still bet him at 100 to 1 too. But let's see him against Baltimore. Look, I'm not sure I put a ton of stock in what Denver's done either. So I personally just had Baltimore a decent favorite and thought +1 was good. But I can give you a pick on Denver, man. We'll lock you in for it either way. But I'm rooting against you on this one.
No, sounds good. And let me get your thoughts on a teaser. I know you mentioned you like one. Do you like the teasing the Chiefs and the Titans at all? That's one I was looking at. That's what I would have gone with if I hadn't gone with that Ravens one or with the Broncos.
I wouldn't use either. Excuse me. So, yeah, Kansas City, because it's not 7.5 or higher, you're not supposed to tease. You can get like 7 minus 105 flat, and that's just going to be a better. And then Tennessee's in the same boat. You can actually get minus 6.5 on Tennessee. So you shouldn't be teasing teams that are on 6.5 or 7. Just in a vacuum, you shouldn't. Plus, look, the Jets were 7.5, I think, yesterday, and that's moved to 6.5 some spots. So that's probably telling. That's one of the games I liked, though, last night when I was going through 44, and then the total moved up today. And I don't move NFL markets at all, but someone else agrees. So I liked over 44, and even 44.5s are okay, but it's up to 45 some spots. But I think Zach Wilson, as ugly as it is, and I'm repping him here with the BYU helmet, but Tennessee's pass rush and defense as a whole, much worse than what Wilson has seen so far. And I think Tennessee's offense has another level they can go. They've kind of been underachieving. And the Jets' defense is actually overachieved relative to expectation. So I think the play in that game's over. So I just wanted to hit on that while we were already talking about it. But I wouldn't tease either of those.
Gotcha, man. Much appreciate the thoughts. Thank you. Have a good one.
No problem. Take care. We don't have anyone on the line, right?
No, Patrick said expect this call soon.
He's crunching the numbers.
He's waiting until it's 1:59.
Expect the call soon, but apparently Tom might call back.
Yeah.
Should I just end the show now and really show Patrick?
No.
So my teaser, by the way, Penny just went to 6.5 on Tennessee too. That was like a juiced 7. Now it's, yeah, don't want to tease Tennessee. Sharp money on the Jets so far. My teaser is, and by the way, I should have thrown this in Tone's face because he was giving me crap about Atlanta the first 2 weeks, who I didn't bet the first 2 weeks, just liked them preseason. We got the cover against the Giants. Also, I think teasing them up to 7.5 against Washington at home, good. And then the other one, I'll go right back to it. We liked the teaser last week with Minnesota. Why not run it back with Minnesota again? Take them up to the 8 against the Browns. They're at home, getting 8. I'll take it.
I like Minnesota. I think I faded the Browns the last 2 NFC North teams they played. Or did they play one? Who was it? The Bears and
They covered against the Bears. Last week, like Fields took 9 sacks in one game.
Yeah.
I've never seen something that.
It was horrible.
So Trent Dilfer was on Ryan Russillo's podcast this week. Let's talk a little just NFL. Just betting or not, doesn't really matter. They were talking about just how a lot of these rookie quarterbacks have struggled. Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. I watched the first half of that game, and I was texting people, and I just said I would just max bet Browns minus 240, 250 live. Like, rarely do I just like watch something and feel so confident, but the Browns had a few drives that they botched. They either had to kick a field goal or got backed up and punted. But watching
3-4 downs too, didn't it?
That could have been, yeah. I just remember it was like 3-3 for a long time, and it was like Browns should have been up big. Anyway, they end up pulling away. They win 26-6. But just watching Justin Fields try to make reads and progressions, like 9 sacks, and it was like 4 within a quarter and a half. And that's when I started telling people, I was like, he has no clue what's happening on the field. Just knowing. There's no way, unless Baker Mayfield's throwing touchdowns the other way. Bears aren't scoring a TD.
Yeah.
Maybe garbage time if the Browns are already up enough where it doesn't even matter. And then Dilfer's talking about today, he's like, one, he's assessing young quarterbacks, and he's talking about like the offenses they play in and the throws they make in college. He says he has to actually give credit on some of the throws that are on these guys' tape or highlight reels to the play callers or to the coaches. So, for example, he's like, Ryan Day's one of the best play callers in all of college football in the entire country. He's like, you know how many times Justin Fields made like a throw and Fields makes a good throw, but the guy was just wide open. Yeah. He's like, I can't grade to those throws. And so many of his, Ohio State's just faster. They're scheming better. They're threatening with the run game. That they're just wide open. He said Zach Wilson also similar one because BYU pretty good play calling, a lot of misdirection, and they played a really soft schedule last year. And so BYU guys were just wide open. And it looks good, and it's like they have all the tools. But look, when was the last time that Justin Fields had to like make 4 reads in 3 seconds or less?
He didn't even have
Sometimes
time.
That's less.
Yeah.
And if you don't have time, and he's only used to just already knowing the guy that's probably going to be open because Ryan Day calls it, and he just gets open. Like, what are you going to do in the NFL now, where the windows are just basically zero? And he doesn't want to throw picks. He's afraid to make a mistake, so he's just taking sacks.
I don't think that was the majority. Listen, I did not. I thought the game plan was tailored to Dalton. It still looks like an Andy Dalton game plan because they were lining up, running hitches, running like long developing medium routes, and it's like he did not have time to sit in there and make reads. It was pressure.
And they were only maybe rushing 5 max.
Barely.
Like it was 4 or 5.
Man,
yeah.
5-man rush. And so like I said with like the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, like they're throwing bubble screens, they're throwing step screens to get the ball out quick. So he doesn't have to face that pressure. And the Bears' offensive line isn't that good. So making it something easy for him.
So the discussion then is Nagy. Is he just out? Like, is it his thing?
I think
you have to blame him. You can't blame your draft pick this quickly.
No.
I saw on ESPN, I don't even remember what show, but someone screenshotted it and tweeted it. The bottom like headline as the two guys are discussing it was, should Justin Fields like force his way out of Chicago after one game? It's like, what?
Jesus.
The guy plays one game. He's horrible. I want out of Chicago. That's where we're at with general sports media.
First
covering
coach
games.
fired. They said, this is the week. If he loses to Detroit, he could be gone.
Remember when you liked Nagy to win Coach of the Year?
listen,
30-1, Nagy Coach of the Year. Sign me up.
Listen, I was just getting into betting, and I did not know he was that bad. But I still think I don't know if they changed play calling hands, but I think it was just a case of not being prepared. Like the quote last week he said was, we saw some things in practice that we didn't see before. And it's weird that like once you get reps, you get better. So I think this week, the Lions defense passing is it's not good. It's like middle of the pack. I think they were like 15 or 16 for what I saw, at least in yards allowed. I think Nagy's going to get fired this week, man.
You guys think you win?
First of all, I'm a lifelong LA Rams fan.
Of course you are. So you're getting, it's kind of crazy to see that you're only +3 on the road, even 2.5 some places. to the Bears.
If they give the ball to Swift, like I was watching the Lions are bad to the extent that they just make errors. It's like they had a a drive where they punted. They had a guy run out of bounds, didn't come back in. It's just costly errors, and that's taking them out of every game.
You guys are 10th against the run and success rate, and 19th against the pass. You're like an average defense, which no one would have predicted.
No,
now,
not me.
We'll see when the season's over. But for now, you're hanging in there. That's why you've been around a few
Lifelong
games.
LA Rams fan.
All right, I'll stop saying you are, but you guys are only 2.5-point dogs on the road to Chicago.
I'm discussing taking the Lions on the money line at some point this week.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
You're right. He's fired as soon as that happens.
Yeah.
That's probably there's a few books that offer those props. I've never really looked. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Why would you bet? I mean, there's a chance he's not fired if Detroit wins, but why would you bet like Lions plus 130 or 125 when you could get Nagy at like maybe 3 or 4 to 1 to be first coach fired? It's pretty correlated.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's interesting. You should find that and put it in your Qwan show this weekend.
And who are we talking about before we got in the...
I was just talking about some of the games I liked. One was Giants plus 7.5. One was the Ravens plus 1. We mentioned those. Then the total in the Jets game, I wanted to go over that because I had that pretty low. There's not a ton of weather in New York City. There's some across the East Coast this weekend, but they should be fine there. And I think things open up for Zach Wilson against this Tennessee defense. And again, there's a tier for Tennessee's offense to get to. They just haven't hit yet. And the Jets defense is overachieved. Most likely he'll be out. Yeah, that is part of it probably. But they have enough. Although A.J. Brown, I think, is also, anyway, we'll see. But I know that's all playing a role. I just got to take a shot. It's the Jets' chance. But that's also part of the reason this plus 7.5 got gobbled up all the way through the 7 in like the last 24 to 28 hours. Who's up on the line? We had someone, right?
Davis.
Okay. So, Tom, you decided not to stand pat.
Well, how much of a lead do I have over Patrick?
1.31. But he has 2 pending bets. I assume he'll call right after you. Yeah, 1.31. So if he goes 2-0, you lose. Or if one of the first TDs scores, you lose. But if you pick something and you lose and Patrick goes 1-0, he wins.
We need some standoff music.
Want to put the millionaire or
I got to find like a quick in the day.
Say that again?
I said, you putting the music on me for the millionaire?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. I'm going to have to sell Lisa. I'm going to have to sell Lisa Leslie.
That you're, you sent me a DM about that. I haven't followed WNBA Top Shot at all. But, yeah, if you have to sell her, that doesn't sound right. Trade the moment.
Oh, man. Well,
IFB
I'm going to go with
I
you.
missed what I said.
You're the pro, so I'm going to do like you said and stand pat.
Okay. I agree with it. Now you force Patrick to make a play. He has to play one now, and he has to go 2-0.
Final answer.
Yeah. All right. I like it, Tom. Good luck tonight. Feel free to hit the DMs as you're sweating all of this stuff tonight.
All right, brother. Peace.
Take it easy. Is Patrick on the line yet?
I'm assuming this is him
All right.
calling in.
All right. Put him through. What's up, Patrick? I know you were waiting it out. Smart man. He stood pat. I'm sorry. I think I gave him enough. You're probably mad that I pushed him towards staying pat because I think you would have preferred he fired something. But here we are. Now you got to make another pick.
Well, it's interesting because, one, I got to hit this James Robinson prop. I got to hope that none of these Bengals score the first touchdown, and then I got to hit the second pick too. So I do have to make a second pick, and I'm going to go with the Dodgers on the money line. The
Most likely event to win today, basically.
I mean, I could have taken the Bengals money line, but I think I like the Dodgers money line better, even though the price is a little lower.
I can give you minus 200
so
just for the sake of tracking.
Okay,
Minus 200.
That's fine. That's fine. So if both those hit, I got to have both those hit, and can't have any of those touchdowns or those players score the first touchdown, and then I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, you did increase your odds just going with the favorite at least. So, right, you're theoretically like 64 or something % to win the Dodgers on the no vig implied probability. You got, say you're a little bit ahead of the James Robinson number slightly, I think, based on the line today.
Yeah, it moved another yard, yeah.
So you're probably going 2-0 like 31, 32, maybe 33% of the time, something in that realm. So, yeah, maybe it is like 1/3. And then the TDs one, look, it's less likely that one of those three score, even though they're the three favorites, than most people think. So, free $500, probably like 1 out of 5 times. That's my off the top of the head math. Could be worse, right?
Okay, well, I mean, it's worth a shot. At least I'm in it at the last day, so.
Yep, for sure, man. We appreciate your calls, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
All right, bye.
Take it easy. I like how that was all played. I think Tom did it correctly. I think Patrick did it correctly. He went with the bigger favorite to hopefully just get he doesn't care if he gets 3rd or 5th or 2nd. Like, none of it actually matters. So, well played, everybody. I'm impressed. We still got Jim for Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire Day 2 coming up in a few minutes. I haven't told Qwan what the question is, but it's football related. We got college and we got pro. We'll get that set up, and we'll go live here in like 5 minutes or so. Last thing.
I want to lay out a challenge.
Okay.
This month, we were kind of laxed on putting money in the...
Yeah, until I started chugging milk.
Yeah. Tomorrow, first day of October, me versus Preston. Paper, rock, scissors. Best out of 7.
I already hate you because you didn't call it rock, paper, scissors. You said paper, rock, scissors.
Listen, it's regional.
It's just incorrect.
How is it? Okay. I'm sorry.
We're already a heated rivalry because of the way you said it. But yes, I will agree to that. Best out of how many?
7.
7. You want to just like walk up in front of the camera and put our hands out and just...
This is like a standoff? Here.
Yeah, we could probably get it. I mean, I'm not getting up right now, but you can test it.
Listen. Here.
Yeah. That's true. I can still just do it here. That works. All right, we'll run that tomorrow. Best out of... You were like, man, this guy, because I was so happy how well I was playing rock, paper, scissors yesterday for the show.
No, you got me. And I thought about it all night. I sat up in the bed. I wrote it on
Kept you up at night.
Chalkboard material.
All right, we got to wrap up the show. Thanks for everyone that called in. Good luck tonight. Good luck this weekend. Tom, Patrick, everyone else, I'm rooting for all of you, even though I'm actually not. One of you is going to win. I can't root for all 5 of them. We'll be back in a few minutes. Day 2 of Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire. Jim's chance at $25,000. Talk to you guys tomorrow.